always stay in the bottom here, or do I come up with you guys?
I think it'll keep you in the bottom left for now, unless somebody drops off or yeah. But
Well, I got
we're
you
live
three.
now.
Like,
I'm at the bottom too, though. We're all
I got you three up in like an L, and then I'm
because
like,
we're on top. Boom. No.
whatever. It's a bottom 8. I'm good with being on the bottom.
Yeah. So, so welcome to our second episode of the Beaver Pumper podcast. And we're here with Evan Bourgoin and Chris Gobby and the French Arm Wrestling King.
I got to do it. Oh, Wrestling King, baby.
Oh, yeah.
French guy says it.
So let's get started here. Well, how about the matchups for the bottom 8? What do you guys think of the Bowen and the Bowen one there? Here's 1 sec.
Blue Bowen, get it right.
Blue Bowen, yeah.
Herbie
we'll take the wrong answers first. So, Gobby, you go ahead and tell what you think.
Yeah. What's happening there,
he'll have probably a 60-pound weight advantage on me with his right arm, with it being with his dominant arm. He's definitely favored, but I'll come in prepared, and I like my chances. But I can see why on paper he's favored. There's so many things that can happen with draws and long matches and stuff like that. The only definite I have is Artem beating Laba, and I have I believe. And I have Evan as a clear favorite to win the whole thing, but that's all I can. What's the other one? Oh, Juji.
Yeah, Juji.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if I had to bet, I'm not going to bet money because who do you bet on? A guy who doesn't know how to arm wrestle or a 65-year-old that knows how to arm wrestle a little bit, right? Like, I'm not giving you either one of you fuckers my money, but my heart's with the Beaver King only because he's embedded himself in the sport and you could tell that his heart's right in there. And the other guy, if he shows up, which I'm not sure he will, even if he shows up, it's all for money and fame. He doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. Have any of us talked to him? Has he emerged his head at all? No, he doesn't give a fuck. So
I haven't heard anything from him.
Yeah, my heart's with the Beaver, the Beaver Pumper all day.
Hey,
who knows? Maybe he'll be the one to get drunk and beat up.
If you beat me,
you
beat me.
Well, look, I'm not a fucking flamingo.
All right, Evan, rock and roll. What do you got?
So, Gobby Bowen. It's just a terrible matchup for Gobby. He's small. If it gets into a sideways-driven match, Gobby will win easy. But it won't. Bowen's hand's too strong. He pops it out too well. I mean, Gobby will probably get his hook in.
Too late, too open.
Stop.
Yeah. Too late and too open. Right.
I don't think Gobby's going to get his hand like flipped open or folded back.
No.
But I don't think he's going to get it sunk in time to actually get a match happening.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-0 Bowen on that. And then the other side of that bracket is the French Arm Wrestling King and Juji Mufu.
Yeah.
The King knows a little bit. He's been arm wrestling a little bit, but Juji's been arm wrestling since January. Like that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's just going to be too big and too strong against a little old man. You got to keep in mind the little old man, like he claims he's French when he's not. So you got to question your intelligence at that point. Who wants to be French?
Yeah, no one with any bit of pride wants to be French, right?
Even the French don't want to be fucking French. Why does an English guy want to be?
Trudeau wants to be French. Trudeau's French. He's part of it.
No one wants to be French. Evan's right. Even the French people try to watch English TV and English movies. They're trying to get away from their own culture.
And because he keeps yelling that French Arm Wrestling King, I really just want him to lose. So I'm going to go with Juju on that.
Oh, yeah.
Which would put Bowen and Juji Mufu in the semifinals. And I think Bowen flashes him 3 times as well. And Bowen goes into the finals pretty fresh. On my side, we got me and Craig. He's just too dumb. He can't make adjustments. I mean, look, our first match, he was strong as fuck. He right through me. I went in there with the game plan. I wanted to hook him and just hold him till he quit. And I went into the hook and I got pinned. I mean, I held him up for like a half a second, maybe. Like, I don't even know if you can call it getting a stop, Yeah. And he went right through me twice. So I had to make some adjustments, beat him real easy in the third match. Fourth match, we went outside to straps, took control of it, then started putting my shoulder back in and came back into a hook, and I just held him till he quit. So Craig's, not only is he dumb, he's mentally weak on top of being stupid. Like, that's a dangerous combination. Like, I'm going to break him, and I'm probably going to do it without even tiring myself out. Mm-hmm. Then who else we got? Artem and Laba.
Yeah.
That's the toughest match, I think. But I'm going with Laba on it. I think they're both going to end up locked to each other in straps and kind of stalemating with a side pressure. Artem will probably outlast him in the first round. And then Laba's going to start like just dumping his weight on him. And he's going to probably press through him for a couple of matches. Yeah. If he's not able to get high enough in that strap that he's able to just overtake the height fight and just win.
I'm going to collect $50 off you on that one. Yeah, that's going to get me $50.
That's what you think.
The bad day.
It works out either way because I bet Laba double or nothing the other way on that match. So I'm breaking even either way.
Yeah, you're okay.
Oh, yeah.
And so that'll put me up against a tired Laba. So that'll be an easy 3-0 for me. So you're going to have a fresh Bowen versus a relatively fresh me.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to dump right through him sideways. I'm not even going to try to set my hook. I'm just going to flop him just because he said he does so well against flop pressers. So I'm just going to just come straight out.
You just want to do that?
I just want to do it because he said he's good against that move.
Yeah, so. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, if it turns out he's better at that, at countering a flop than I am at flopping, I'll just pick my elbow up and restart, and then I'll either hook him or top roll him. Yeah. I'll do whatever I want to him.
You have to realize, Trevor, if you're going to be a perennial bottom 8 contestant or candidate, you have to embrace spite. You have to be a mean-hearted, want to humiliate fuckers. That's part of the skill set.
Yeah, I'm not really looking to win. I just want everybody else to lose.
Yeah.
I don't care if I win as long as everybody else loses. I'm good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna win it. That's pretty well it. And then I'm gonna get drunk and piss off everybody. Drunker.
Well, I heard that you're gonna get drunk and that there's gonna be some fights.
I've never been in a fight at an arm wrestling event, but that's only because everybody else is too much of a bitch.
Yeah. Plus, Evan's all talk.
Yeah.
I am. I got a lot of bark.
Yeah.
So, Dave, what do you think?
Gobby just went through one match. He's got a...
Okay, Evan, if you want me to break it down, I can break it down.
Break it down, the rest will go after.
Craig's strong as hell. Craig's really strong. Evan's in certain areas, as strong or stronger, but much, much more versatile arm wrestler. Better conditioning. So I can see Craig. If Evan wants it to be a hard match, Evan will have a hard match. If Evan wants it to make it relatively easy, Evan can make it relatively easy. But the potential for having him work hard, one match, sure, but all 3 or 4 matches, no. So I like Evan just on experience and intelligence on that because although Craig is strong, he doesn't have enough strength advantage to bridge the lack of technicality. So Evan coming out of that one. Lava, Artem's a really good. After Evan, Artem's the best well-rounded puller in the 8, and he's intelligent and he's experienced and he's a good clutch arm wrestler. And Lava, although he's bigger and has more mass, he doesn't have a great arm. He doesn't have a great hook. He doesn't have a great roll. And although he says he has a press, it's not a great press. It's just a usable press. It's serviceable. And I think Artem will get strapped, and I think Artem will just totally rape him in the strap and bleed him. Artem comes out of there 3-0. If he drops one, I'll be shocked. Because he does not want to start playing around because his next round is going to be, if he wants to win it, much like Bowen, they claim they might want to play around, but they do not want to play around. They're going to try to flash their way through the preliminary rounds. Now, the King and Juji, one thing I like about the King is his approach, knowing that he does have to take the hand. He's fully committed on taking the hand of the bigger, stronger man. He has no choice. And he knows that. And that's what I think his trainer is objectively targeting him on.
Yeah.
So I think he has an out. I think if the big guy does have a weak, most big guys, their weak is their weakness is their back bottom fingers, because no one really trains that. So if you can target or fatigue his back bottom fingers even if you lose the first match, maybe the second, as long as you keep loading hard every match, and you in that one sector you have a little bit more conditioning and you're a little bit more stubborn, I can see him winning the first one or two, and then you coming out the bottom end. And once his wrist goes back a little bit, it's game over, right? Like he'll just bleed. Yeah. You hold him. Do not rush a pin with that guy. And I can see you winning. But if I'm betting, I'm probably not touching either of you guys, because I just don't know. There's just not enough knowledge out there. I just, but I can definitely see you winning. What's the other one we have? Well, I think that's it. So yeah. Whoever comes at me and Bowen, I have trouble betting against myself, so I'm gonna go me coming out of that one, and then I go against Juji or King. I believe that's the setup, and either one I'm gonna. It's a non-issue.
Those matches are going hook. You win.
Yeah. And neither of them has the skill set to take me out of my position, and neither of them have the strength to give me a very, very hard day in my position. So I see me coming out of there, and I see Evan, whether it's Artem or Laba, Evan's going through. He's just going to kill Laba, or he has too much intelligence and horsepower for Laba, and he has way too much more horsepower over Artem. So either way, he's coming out of that. Yeah. The only hope I have is if his match with Craig drops him down to 60%, he comes back against Artem. Now, it's an easy match, so maybe his stamina climbs back up to 70, but he's still not at 100. To my 90, maybe. And if he has enough alcohol in his system and he's overconfident, I can see maybe there's an out for me. But again, to be honest, and if I'm a betting man, all my money, and I'd probably give 2-1 odds, all my money is on Evan, because he has a combination of table savvy, versatility, and just raw horsepower. And he's by far, like, I don't know. I'm not saying pound for pound he's the best arm wrestler in the class, but he's one of the biggest, and among the biggest, he's by far the best. So I have him coming out winning it all. Yeah. But to throw a monkey wrench in there, I do believe last minute or within a couple of weeks, Juji's gone and Big Frank's coming in. Devin didn't do that randomly. He believes, he's not sure on Juji. Big Frank's going to come in a week or two before which will make a more dramatic match, because he's so much bigger. The guy's a fucking huge meathead. But I believe he's the same thing as Juji, and I believe it's the same deal. I think
But didn't
Big Frank comes in? I'm switching my pick to the arm wrestling king to win.
Yeah.
What's that, Trevor?
I was going to say, didn't Devin and
Sandbag.
That wasn't a real match. Look, I pulled
a real match. Oh, okay.
I pulled Frank before in a real match.
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I was very, very new in the sport. I was at the Mike Gould Classic, signing up for the amateur division, and I went and signed up. And I turned around and I walked face first into this massive fucking chest and these shoulders that are like 6 feet fucking wide up above my head. And I was like, where'd you come from, you big fucker? Oh, nice to meet you. My name's Frank. He was a real nice guy.
Yeah.
And he walks around me and he's like, I'm just going to sign up here. And you look down. I was like, fuck, did he just grab the blue sheet? How the fuck is a man that size pulling in the amateur division? So then I started being me and playing pokey chest with them. And motherfucker, I hope I get you first round. I love smashing you big meatheads. And I thought the guy was going to kill me. And Ian Carnegie telling me, just don't hook a man with a bicep that size. I'm like, motherfucker, my right hand doesn't know how to top roll. What do you want me to do? I got a hook. He's like, don't hook him. Well, I'm going to hook him anyway. He's like, don't hook him. You're going to lose. Like, well, I'm going to hook him. I didn't feel it.
Really?
Yeah.
The ref said go, and I tried to just drive forward into a hook as hard as I could, and all of a sudden my hand bounced off the pad.
Mike Gould Classic, right? 2013, something like that? Mike Gould Classic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I don't care how big the guy is. If he can't connect properly with his bicep, it doesn't fucking matter. And one thing Devin does better than anyone, even on an elite level, Evan connects. If you watch Evan pull, Evan connects as well as anyone you'll see.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Are you going to swallow at the end of this, Gobby?
Yeah. I'll give and I'll take. Wait, I'll get going.
You're gobbling on it pretty hard here, man.
I'm just being brutally honest.
Go ahead.
These guys don't have the background. I'm trying
to feel the love.
I'm trying to set these guys up with the landscape, because they just don't know anything about you. I'm trying to be factual.
Yeah, just give me a little squeeze there, a little fondle while you're doing it.
I play with ball.
Yeah, I think he's got some balls there.
He can give you some technique pointers on how to handle balls.
Yeah. I grade 4 tons a year.
I bet you do.
He grades tons and tons of beaver balls. That's what he does for a living. He plays with beaver balls.
Is there children around?
No, it's the wife. You got any beaver balls with you?
I didn't bring any because they're all being weighed. They're being.
You don't just snap your fingers and the queen brings you beaver balls?
No, the queen's watching a soap opera downstairs. And
so you snap your fingers real loud?
We sold all the beaver balls to Pakistan.
Ah.
I see you're drinking beers tonight. I'm assuming that's just because I'm on?
I'm drinking beers because I was drinking beers when you were stealing your fucking diapers.
Now, joke's on you. I still wear diapers. I don't want to shit my pants and miss the event.
I'm going to bring you trapping and I'm going to make you look like an idiot in snowshoes.
Why would you think I can't use snowshoes?
Because you're too big. You're going to sink.
I'll just wear bigger snowshoes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you're right. You're always right, okay? Okay.
My feet are a 13 quadruple E. They are snowshoes.
Okay, you're okay. You're a Sasquatch. I have a Sasquatch in the back of my house. I had 2 Indian guys here hitting on the trees, and I heard 2 of them. They're the female and there's a male up here.
Well, let's not get racist. I'm Indian here. Come on now.
I'm Algonquin. Okay.
Yeah, so am I.
You're just saying that because you're an addict. Being an addict doesn't automatically make you Native Indian, right?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Oh, it does. Okay. Well, my mistake.
Yeah.
My mistake.
No, if you go to the beer store every day, they just give you your status card.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right. So you want to hear from the amateur?
Not really, no.
A novice. Technically, you're a novice.
Okay,
you have to. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you what's going to go
Give you
on.
another 6 months or a year, you'll become an amateur.
I watch more arm wrestling, so I'm on the outside. I arm wrestle. I'm not a Gobby or you, but I'm going to tell you right now, Laba's going to beat Artem.
See, now he's only saying this shit because he's taking the opinion of a guy that does know what he's talking about. Gobby knows a little bit about what he's talking about. That's why he's on my ball so hard. And then, the king sees this. He's like, well, if Gobby fucking...
Well, no.
You got to elaborate, Beaver. You got to elaborate.
I'm picking the big match is Gobby and Blue Bowen. I'm picking Gobby. Gobby's too powerful. Bowen's overrated. There's nobody that arm wrestles up there in Kangaroo Land. Bowen
up there?
Talk the world.
You want us to take your opinion seriously when you're talking about the Southern Hemisphere is up there.
Up there, down there. What the hell?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Okay. The next match.
Literally, it's like straight through the fucking earth, all the way down.
Craig.
Down under.
Craig,
yeah.
Okay?
The land down under is up there.
Craig's too strong now. Craig's going to beat you 3 straight.
How do you see? This is why nobody takes you fucking seriously. How do you say such stupid fucking things?
When it happens,
anybody to take you fucking seriously?
I'm being fucking serious here. 3 straight.
You talk about yourself in the third person and say stupid fucking shit like Craig is too strong and he's gonna fucking beat me. Jesus Christ! You should move to fucking Florida.
Hey, Beaver Pumper.
Last time.
Pumper, it's like me saying the world's
your shoulders were blown out 2 years ago. Craig's gonna beat you. You might get 1 match out of it. Okay, next.
I'll tell you right now, if I get 1, he is fucked. There is no way he's getting another win after I get 1. He might be able to pull off 1 if I feel like I've got it in the hook and I try it, and then because the last time in the setup, I thought I had it in the hook and I banged in there, and then once he started moving, it just didn't stop. He was just too goddamn strong.
Exactly.
The only way he's getting 1 is if I dive in. And that's like right in without shoulder committal. Once my elbow tucks in and that shoulder comes around it, this arm doesn't fucking move. Not for anybody.
How is your shoulder?
And he's not fast enough to get it out of the way before my shoulders.
How are your shoulders? Are they 100%? Are they 80?
Better than fucking yours, you fucking old dummy.
All right. He's okay, bro.
See, anyways. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Trevor, you asked the questions. He's fucking stupid. Like, Gobby, I'm changing my mind. The Beaver Pumper might actually be the dumbest man in the bottom 8.
Yeah.
Sue Bear, Dum Dum. The guy with the nickname of Dum Dum might actually be smarter than this guy. Go practice rolling some R's with your beaver balls. Fuck off.
All right. The next one is going to be Juji and me. And I'm going to win this match. I'm going to win it because, you know why I'm going to win it? Hand strength. All hand strength. And if I'm wrong on so many things, I'm wrong. But that's how I feel.
It's fine, man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get all mad. Fuck, we all can't be fucking massaging your balls, man.
Oh, I'm not mad. I am far from mad. I'm having a hard time actually understanding that anybody is that fucking stupid. That's all. It's not mad.
Okay, but don't get mad. But mad's for children.
Who's mad?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm not mad. It's just it's tough to wrap my mind around somebody actually has these thought processes. That's all.
Although Beaver, if you're looking to have, I don't believe you. Even if I think my prediction is right and you can win,
right.
I don't think it's through the hand. Like, you cannot be gripping him, right? You have to be.
I was in a cancer ward today, sitting down, like someone in my family has cancer, to getting some tumors out, and working on my two fingers, my two pinkies, for about an hour.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, Gobby uses those two fingers. Juji should be using those two fingers.
You have to be attacking
should be working on fucking breaking those fingers off of people.
You
still want to go with the French arm wrestling, King Gobby?
No, I'm going for the YouTube.
What the hell, Gobby? You can't change halfway.
All right, dude, you're telling me now you're sitting down and
everything the fucking big guys tell you.
When I make a statement, I'll back it up. And you're sitting here. Let me talk. You're sitting here telling me that you spent hours today working on your containment parts. Containment is
cupping.
You're not beating him through supination through the bottom fingers. You're going to beat him through rising or attacking his low fingers through pronation and back pressure.
That's what the guy told me today that was working out with Evan yesterday. That big kid there, 6'3" kid.
I don't know.
He's there with he sent
Brendan.
me a picture of him lifting. He was lifting these weights like this, a whole bunch of plastic weights, and he's going this. He goes, "This is where you're going to beat him."
Yeah, that's not your bottom fucking fingers. That's your riser and your back pressure.
Well, I tried working them out. I feel like I got weak pinkies.
If this motion here becomes using my bottom fingers, you are completely fucked.
Done. Yeah, you're a decent cat, but I'm gonna have to change my prediction.
This is what you got to do is when you have a beer in your hand, you just got to get her swig back quick. It's like
drink your beers with two fingers. Super quick. That's it.
Boom.
Right.
No, you hold your beers like this from now on.
Mm-hmm.
Not those two fingers. The other two fingers, donkey.
These ones. There we go.
Who's training you? Who's training you, David?
One of those fucking beavers.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, no, hey, I bet you, Gobby, you can't even set a 330 Connie Bear.
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Would you like to bet that I can?
You from fucking the city?
Would you like to bet that I can?
You can.
Oh, I've done it lots.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyways, next question.
Okay, so
they're both betting me over.
Dude, you're coming out.
I fucking told you this was going to happen. You're a terrible arm wrestler. You don't know anything about arm wrestling. Well, you roll your R's really well, so you got into this fucking tournament. I told you have me on this podcast, and I'm going to fucking tear you apart. Like, what do you expect from me? What do you think they call me good company? I'm the guy that everybody wants to hang out with and drink tea and eat fucking crumpets? What are you, fucking retarded? Of course you're fucking retarded. I'm bad company. Fuck you.
And
I hear it.
I'm not as hostile as Evan, but you cannot come at me saying you're training to attack your guy's hand by training your back fingers. I mean, you're coming at me with ridiculous statements.
I'm not hostile.
Yeah, but you changed your fucking mind halfway, God, because you're fucking licking his balls.
He changed his mind when you showed him how fucking stupid your training and attempts and what your game plan is.
Fucking half an hour ago, he said he's licking my balls. What are you doing, God? You fucking doing this to me?
I've been going with Evan. Jesus Christ, I've been going with Evan from day one.
No, I'm getting the same fucking shit. You got a wing like this? No, you don't.
What the fuck?
No, you keep going at Gobby like this, and I might join in on your team.
What the fuck?
Keep going. This is good. You should be doing more of this. Less talking about your training because that's fucking stupid. You're going to lose because of that. But this, keep attacking him. This might get you somewhere.
Gobby's the only guy in the bottom 8 that's 5'5" and doesn't know what a shaved pussy is.
Yeah.
I know what a shaved pussy is. Do you know what a shaved pussy is?
You were born in 1961. Evan? I hardly doubt you know what a shaved.
1963, buddy.
Yeah.
How old were you in 63? You were what? 12?
Again, do the math.
I'm not good at math.
No, no.
I believe that.
On arm wrestling.
That's mechanics. Like the first thing you said that I don't have an issue with.
All right. Next question. Jesus Christ! I gave my thing. It's like I'm in game one. Okay, you're next, Gobby. You're next.
Who the fuck invites me and Gobby on the same show and expect it to go well for them?
The king.
Like if anybody even knew who Trevor was, he'd be getting it too.
You know what? The king does, because the king is the king.
Trevor's surviving because he's sitting back. Trevor's sitting back and listening, so he's surviving. Your statements, your ridiculous statements, it's going to get you a boot right up the ass. Like, you got to watch out.
Why do you keep talking about my ass?
I didn't talk about your ass. That was the first time I talked about your ass.
Maybe I better take off my wig. Am I getting pretty or something?
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys, let's hit another question here. Jesus Christ.
Okay. So we'll switch it up a little bit here. So now I wanted to touch base with Evan on that Vice sports documentary. Now, during the start of that documentary, you mentioned that your first experience with arm wrestling against a pro was a guy that ended up beating you with 2 fingers, and it goes back to our other conversation about 2 fingers. And I wanted to get you to elaborate on that story a little bit more, because I thought that was pretty cool. And
I got into arm wrestling. I think it was November of 2012. I started bouncing at a local hug and slug here, and Ian Carnegie and Alan Ford, believe it or not, was bouncing there. So when I was bouncing with those guys, they were talking about arm wrestling all the time while I was busy working. And then at the end of the night, they wanted to arm wrestle. Well, fucking arm wrestle. Yeah, I talk all my smack like I always do about how I'm going to beat them. Like, yeah, I know. You've told me you're a pro. I've been arm wrestling for 20 years. Like, I'm going to beat you. I don't need to mean it to say it. I just need to think it's funny and amuse me, and I'll say it. Mm-hmm. So whenever I went to arm wrestle with him, he didn't budge, like, at all. He was trying to get some girl's phone number over his shoulder while arm wrestling with me. And he's like, man, you're really not that fucking strong. I was like, oh, let's go inside. Let's talk about this. But he's like, here, you know what? And he holds up 2 fingers. He's like, here, just grab those 2 fingers and see if you can beat me. And I tried and I tried. I couldn't even break his goddamn fingers. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. And then he pinned me just using his 2 fingers. He top rolled me while I was only grabbing 2 fingers. It was completely embarrassing. So at that point, I'm a big, strong dude. I should not be this bad at something that's manly, like a strength sport. So I ended up hanging out with them a little more. You know, I'd arm wrestle with them every night after work for a couple of weeks. And like, yeah, well, I mean, we have an actual arm wrestling table in my basement. All right. So me and my older brother went to Ian's basement. We arm wrestled, and we couldn't really do anything against Ian, but we tried it against each other, and my brother just kills me. So I started wanting to arm wrestle more. So Ian tells me, he's like, look, we can start going down to Ottawa every week. There's 2 practices a week at Devin Larrett's house. So, who the fuck's Devin Larrett? He's like, well, he's the world champ. The world champ's that close, which is really cool because every sport I've ever got into, I've always been into the one-on-one competition. I don't like team sports because, you know, my team's never as good as me, and we lose, I got to get mad at them. One-on-one sports is just better for me. If I lose, it's because I fucked up. Yeah, it's not because the other guy's better than me. It's because I did something wrong and he beat me. Mm-hmm. So I found out every one-on-one sport I've ever had, I found a world champion right local for me to learn from. So I've just gotten really lucky that way. And then he tells me that Devin Larrett lives in Ottawa. That's, you know, we can go practice there twice a week. And he tells me, he's like, look, man, after like 2 weeks of practicing twice a week, when I call you to go to practice, you're going to start like ignoring the phone call because your arms are too sore. You don't want to go. You're going to skip this one. 2 weeks later, I'm calling Ian and he's skipping the phone calls because he doesn't want to go. I'm like, yeah, I can barely lift my fucking arms, but I still want to go. I'm not going to stop doing this until I get better. My very first practice at Devin's house was actually the day after he got his first elbow surgery. And so he's still wearing all the bandages, and you can see all the purple and black coming up his arm from underneath the bandages. He's like, okay, so you got to go real light with me and just back pressure. just super light though. Like I just had surgery yesterday. Okay, well, it seems a little silly that you would be arm wrestling today if you had surgery yesterday. It's like, yeah, just super light stuff. It's okay. All right. So we lock up. He's like, back pressure. So I start pulling back. He's like, give me a little more. So I pull back harder. Give me a little more. I pull back harder. Give me a little more. I'm like, man, that's all I got. That's fucking it. He's like, oh, that sucks. It was embarrassing. Gobby, I don't know if you remember Gord. Little guy, he's in his 60s, little judo guy, bald head.
No.
With a mullet and a bald head.
No. Unless you're talking about Gord Squire, no.
No, not Gord Squire. This is one of the guys from Devon's team that was always there back then. Anyways, he's like 60 years old, maybe 140 pounds. And he kicked my ass in every position, in a hook, in a top roll, or press. He just beat me however the fuck he wanted it. It was embarrassing. So, 2 a week for 2 months. And then my brother is a materials technician in the Army. So he does welding and sewing. So I got him to make me a couple of arm wrestling tables because at this point, we're having 2 carloads with 4 guys in each car driving down to Ottawa twice a week. It's like, well, if we've got, 8+ people every time we go down, and we have Alan Ford, Ian Carnegie, and John Milne was working in town at that point too. So we've got 3 of like the highest pros in the country in my town right now. We don't need to drive to Ottawa. And then we've got another 10 guys that arm wrestle with us. So we just made our own tables. And then I started arm wrestling every day. After about a year, I started getting better. At least I stopped sucking.
Yeah.
Every one of my brothers used to beat me with ease.
Well, that's an awesome story. I like that. Because I know there's a lot of new people coming into the sport and being able to hear that.
Sorry, I'm used to talking to cameras where like they sit you down and then they just interview you for like 3 hours and then they edit it all out. So I'm used to being like on the command of you just keep talking, we'll edit out everything we don't want.
There's no editing.
So I go a little overboard when I'm talking.
This is live. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm a little too sober for live.
You're good. I watched your feed there, dude. Gobby 4 fucking times. My girlfriend says, "Why are you watching this big fucking guy with the green T-shirt?" I said, "These guys are fucking better than fucking Arm Hub and Bowen. I want to watch these guys, not those guys. I like it. Fuck, I don't eat crayons at least."
Well,
I think Gobby's a lot harsher whenever he's got a keyboard.
You guys are funny, man. You're serious. You're both good arm wrestlers, but you get all over the place. I like it.
Yeah. Well, there's enough podcasts out there for anyone's taste. So whatever you like, whatever you don't like.
It.
Yeah, that's okay.
And I like skinning beavers too.
Yeah. Yeah, getting back to what Evan said, arm wrestling is a great gatekeeper sport, which means if you can't take pain, if you don't have a high pain threshold, or your ego cannot take losing to a smaller man, it'll filter you out, it'll chew you up and spit you out awful fast. So the guys that end up staying in the sport a year, 2-3 years later, it's not because they're great at it or they have some type of predisposition. It's only because either they love it or their love for it trumps it trumps the ego part of it that can't take a loss or the part of it that struggles with the pain.
Now, you have a high pain tolerance, Gobby?
Yeah, absolutely. Big time. Huge.
I don't. Yeah. I do not. I'm a fucking pussy. I think I might be allergic to pain because it hurts. Like, I don't do well with pain at all. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. The good thing with pain in arm wrestling is the pain in arm wrestling, as long as you can sit back and let it fix itself, it makes you stronger, right? Pain in arm wrestling, even injuries in arm wrestling, with the exception of a bicep tear, but a break, most injuries in arm wrestling, most pain in arm wrestling, given enough time to heal, will make you a better, stronger puller. It's an amazing thing. There's not too many sports that can claim that injuries will improve your performance over time. It's actually quite a unique thing on its own.
I've dealt with both already.
Yeah.
I tore my left bicep tendon. What's the name of the one that comes on the outside of the forearm?
The brachialis.
That's the tendon there? Well, I tore that one.
Yeah, okay. The brachia.
It wasn't a complete tear, and I didn't even get the MRI on it for like a year and a half. So they're like, well, there's nothing we can do to actually fix it. You're just going to have to let it keep healing. That was almost 3 years before the pain went away from that one.
Yeah.
And then that was against Mike Gould. In that same Orangeville tournament, I told you that I felt the electricity shooting through my right arm.
Yeah.
I always do that. I practice on a Friday night, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to the tournament on Saturday with the guys. I'm coaching. Like, I'm not going to pull it. I'm just going to. And then I get there, and I see everybody arm wrestling, and they won't let me arm wrestle unless I join the tournament. So I joined the tournament after being out of 3-hour practice the night before, and I hurt myself.
Yeah. See, there's two types of arm wrestlers that start in the sport. There's the not very strong guy that ends up falling in love with the sport, and he has enough intelligent capacity that he can find a way to become a very, very good arm wrestler. That's Evan.
Like me.
Yeah, Evan was not strong. Even he's not a gifted athlete, but he's smart enough and adaptable enough. And
well, that's not true. I'm a very gifted athlete when it comes to most combat-based sports. Wrestling, judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing.
Yeah.
I picked those up very, very quickly. Yeah. But arm wrestling frustrated the hell out of me. I just couldn't figure out how the fuck to make these movements work.
Yeah, but you still picked it up relatively quick compared to most people. I remember that. I met you the first time.
I put 3 years in 8 months.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but you can't do that if you're not willing to deal with the pain and you don't have the atmosphere around you. So I mean, that
I'm
goes
just
to
stubborn
drive.
as fuck.
Well, that's a strong trait, right? Stubbornness is a good trait to have. It's a good intangible.
I cry about the pain. I just do it anyways.
Yeah.
I actually broke my left arm. I don't know if you ever saw the match with me and Mike Gould at Nationals left-handed, where like we were stuck up center table for like 30 seconds. I even had it in the winning side. I just couldn't quite get his hand to buckle.
Right.
My arm actually broke in that match.
Yeah.
It was a fracture went right up the bone, like straight up it.
Yeah. See, I've been in the sport for 15 years. Evan's been in the sport for 4 or 5. And I came in with a very strong base.
Now.
Yeah. He's a better arm wrestler. He connects better. He's a better arm wrestler than I am. Although for my weight, I might be stronger. You can argue that. But that's the problem. If I had someone coming to train me and I was going to mentor someone, I'd rather have a guy that has all the intangible, psychological, and mental aspects without the physical. I think that's easier to mold than a real strong dude who's going to be stubborn with certain moves and not be adaptable. That's a great thing with arm wrestling.
It's arguable that there's no reason for you to have that widely diverse style that I have. I can arm wrestle from absolutely any position.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have preferred spots for sure, but I can go any direction I need to depending on my opponent, which is usually what gets me my wins. Generally, I'm not the stronger guy. I'm way too small to be a super heavyweight.
Yeah, but you do have a super heavyweight hand. You have a bigger hand for your frame. You have a dominant hand. It's a big hand.
I've always had a big hand.
Yeah.
I should be more like an RBJ, where I've got that huge hand in the 200-pound class.
Yeah. When I saw, I think it was 2013 or 14, I saw Evan, the tournament he beat Big Frank. He was there with his brother. Now, if you guys ever have the chance to meet his brother, Brett, he was holding a can of beer in his hand, and I couldn't even see the can. Like, if you ever meet Evan and see what type size of hand you should meet his brother. His brother has one of the biggest hands I've ever seen.
The duck foot should be there at the bottom 8.
Yeah, he's got a massive hand, and he's not crazy big. Like, he's maybe 6'3", 240. He's not a giant.
6'3", 290.
290, sorry. Yeah.
He's a big fucking man.
Yeah,
he's a much bigger man than me.
Yeah.
But do you guys see, like, I was at work at the Fur Harvesters in North Bay, and there was a 240-pound Indian guy, and we had a bale of raccoons sitting there, and this farmer, and they dropped on the bale of fur and started arm wrestling. And the Indian guy hooked the farmer, had the farmer down like this, and the farmer was able to pull him back and beat him. So that's hand strength, isn't it?
No, well, it depends.
That's just farm boy strength. That's just like rough and grizzled.
Over. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. I find arm wrestling is the best sport because anybody could do it at any cost. And like, I've arm wrestled a lot of times, and I've beat some guys that's Evan's size. I beat guys that big at the Astorville pub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they weren't arm wrestlers, right, man? You're going
that.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it's a sport where if you could beat someone that's that big, even though it still gives you a big fucking happiness inside.
Well, arm wrestling strength isn't a strength you can see, right? It's not a strength you can see. It's a strength you can feel. So just because a guy's much bigger, it doesn't give. I used to go to a GNC in Montreal with a buddy named Mark Vachon. He was about $130 at the time. First year in with me, and we used to go. And the two guys that working the counter were big, huge.
Was it before or after his arm break?
He never broke his arm.
I thought Mark broke his arm once.
No, it wasn't a break, but it was bad. But it wasn't a break. Anyway, that was his left anyway, I think. So anyway, I would say to the guys, hey, arm wrestle my buddy here. Now, if you beat him, I'll pay double for the protein bars. But if he beats you, you give me 2 packs of protein bars for free. And they said no problem. And he would just toy with them. And I tried to explain to them. They got upset and obviously frustrated. And I explained to them that arm wrestling strength is not a visible strength. Some of the strong
70-year-old men that are 170 pounds. That will beat any 300-pound guy that doesn't arm wrestle.
For sure.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Like Neville.
Yeah.
His 100%. He's still tough and he's up there.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear of Willie Conrad?
Yes.
The Canadian champion?
Yes.
He was an over the top. He did the wheelbarrow. Like we have wheelbarrow contests here up in Powassan where you lift up the wheelbarrow with 700 pounds in it. You walk straight. Willie Conrad could lift it and turn it back and bring it back for the people because his hand strength. And he was trained by Neville Beachy that did Ford and fucking Greg Boyce. So I mean, I was
talking to Alan last night about Neville.
Who? Ford? Yeah.
Yeah, Alan and I were talking about Neville last night, and
he's a real deal. You guys can say whatever you want. He's a real deal, man. He could probably beat Juji if he'd practiced for a month or two.
Anyone in arm wrestling that's gone to 3-4 tournaments can beat Juji.
This guy won 5 world championships. For Gary Goodrich, his best friend.
So don't compare him to Juji. Juji's a joke. You stop comparing him to him.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I stand a chance.
Of course you stand a chance, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I stand a chance, and I come out as a goof sometimes. But I'm telling you, I'm not stopping here. I just signed up for a couple tournaments, and I'm going to lose a lot. That's what my trainer said. He says, but in a year or two, he thinks I can start winning.
If you ever want to start winning, you got to start losing first. Mm-hmm. Nobody starts this game with a winning record.
I actually
got lucky.
I got some tournaments underneath me. That's what I'm trying to say. I do have some tournaments. I was young. I did do some trainings. Like you could ask, like fucking Trevor here.
Yeah.
I beat everybody. I beat everybody in the campground and local people. I never lost. I had one technique. And Neville Vici said, I can't teach you more than that in 7 weeks. I'm going to perfect your top roll, and that's all we can do at this point. So I'm one-dimensional. So
he's doing it backwards if he's teaching you to use your bottom fingers.
No, I started doing that today.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to exercise.
Stop doing that.
Fair enough. And my advice to you is anyone that's new, don't create objectives. Don't have goals. Not in your first couple of years. I know. Get a good team. Get a good training. Love the sport.
I love the sport, man.
And it'll everything will come. Everything will come to you. Just try to learn, embrace everything that comes to you, the wins and the losses. Like Evan said, you got to embrace the losses, and everything will come your way. A lot of times people have these lofty goals. I want to win provincials, or I want to do something, and then when they fail, because you will fail. Everyone fails in this sport, no matter who you are. Devin's lost 2 super matches in a row, and he's the best in the world. So losses are inevitable. So don't look at the results. Be obsessed with the process, and you'll be fine.
Yep.
I love the sport, though. I just want to let you guys know
it's a good sport.
You do have to set goals, just
not early. Yeah, the goal should be get better.
I disagree. I like guys that are setting their goals. Like, this is the guy that I'm going for right now. Yeah, and you just keep working until you can get that. And then you pick a new goal. Yeah. And you always set the goal on somebody that you don't think you can beat. Yeah. And then once you attain that, then you set another one and another one. As long as you don't ever become complacent and say, I've done everything I wanted to do, that's good.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I make goals in terms of titles and stuff. Well,
I mean, I still want a national title. I mean, I'm not going to fly out to Edmonton to try to chase one this year. You know, I drove to Montreal, but it's a 3-hour drive. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Like for me to go to Toronto for a normal tournament, it's a 5-hour drive. Like if it's within an 8-hour drive, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting on a plane. I've never been on a plane in my life. I don't plan on doing it now for a plastic fucking trophy.
No.
But I do want to win a national title at some point. I mean, it's hard to claim the record that I've obtained and still can't have a national title. Yeah, I'm gonna get that before I'm done. It's a matter of time. It's just when I'm gonna get it. I don't know, and who shows up.
Yeah,
because to be the best in the country on a given day is tough unless people don't show up.
Right.
My trainer said he lost a lot of competitions because the referees were fucked up. He said sometimes you get a bad draw from the refs, and it really pisses him off. He told me that yesterday.
Refs are human. Like I referee, Gobby refs.
Yeah.
And, we're gonna fuck up at every event. It's gonna happen. You just can't. There's so many moving parts, and everything happens so fast. You're gonna miss shit. And if you're just standing on the wrong side because this is what you're looking for, if I see that jump of the arm, and I know that elbow came off the pad and hit the table and came back up, but I never saw that elbow lose contact. I know it happened, but I didn't see it. I can't call it. Whether I know what happened or not, I have to see it. And it's going to happen. You know, people fuck up. It's human error. Anytime you have a person doing those judgment calls, there's going to be mistakes.
Well,
yeah.
But, I mean, you're kind of a pussy if you start blaming the refs.
Costello. What's his last name?
Joey?
Costello?
Joey Costello. Just a follow.
Like he knows Canelo good. There's a competition this weekend up Gravenhurst.
Well, tell him I said hi if you see him there.
He's going there. So like
he and I are really good friends.
Yeah. So I mean, like, when you look at the big picture with the referee, and I find someone like Gobby sees lots and lots of refereeing. He knows the referees a bit. And once you know the referee, I think that would help. If you know the referee.
It's not so much the referee as knowing how to manipulate and get around rules. But I could tell you this. I've competed in over 260 events. Never once have I lost a tournament because of a ref. And even if I may, I'll never claim to it. I'll never claim to it. Claiming to lose a match or lose a tournament due to reffing is weak.
It's
weak.
Within reason, though, because now Joey Justafalo has
he's back.
Made people lose specifically because he was reffing. Yeah. He will make up fouls. He doesn't need to see them. They don't need to happen. But he will stand by it that he saw it, and it doesn't matter how many camera angles you have of that same thing. A guy buried in a shoulder press, elbow fouled. His elbow stayed center of the pad and sunk in. Nope, stop, foul. He makes that shit up because he's an idiot.
Yeah, he's a notoriously bad ref, like world level bad ref.
Now, just don't tell him I said that because him and I are real close. Like, so don't tell him I'm making fun of him.
You can tell him I said it. We don't like each other. You can tell him I said it.
Do you guys think
he didn't even he blocked me after I made my YouTube video about him.
He's banned me. He banned me twice on the old OAA board. Twice.
Hey, he called the cops on John.
Yeah, that's right. What a homo. Yeah, and that's a weak man right there. That's a homo.
Anyways, there's a guy up here.
He's got nice hair though.
Who, me? Oh. Do I look better like this, guys, or like this? If you had to pick.
I like the jersey. Everything else I can get. I don't give a fuck about. The jersey's decent.
Yeah,
and do you actually have any teeth?
They were up They were down 5-0 yesterday, and the fuckers they come back 4-5.
They'll be fine.
I think that's like the only thing we all agree on is the Leafs.
Go Leafs. They'll be fine. Yeah, they'll peak when they have to peak.
Hey King, do you have any teeth?
Yeah.
Are they real?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I got some done missing and back, but
I would have lost money on that.
Oh, okay.
There's a going bet.
Well,
I mean, there would have been, but everybody else thought he didn't have teeth too.
I'm old enough. I have a cane. I have a cane that I get around with. It's slippery out here, and I have a bad knee, so I'm got to take it easy.
Yeah, you're definitely going to show me what's up on snowshoes then. Canes work real well like that.
Yeah, but I want to take you out trapping, man. Don't fucking give it up. Like, I want to get the bottom 8 trapping, all of you.
I'll take my sled before I go snowshoeing.
Make some steaks. And...
you don't think I hit 300 pounds because I like going hiking, do you?
No, I'm just saying.
No, I'll take the Skidoo.
All right. Well, okay. I don't own one, so.
I've seen Deliverance. I'm not getting in the woods with you fuckers.
Hey, come on. I got my guitar here. I can play.
Oh, you'll be beating for sure. Yeah. You'll be beating for sure.
Yeah. Beaver Pumper has rape written all over him.
It's not rape. It's a struggle snuggle.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna. Hey, if you wake up and if I'm snuggling up beside you, well, then you better be good at something besides arm wrestling.
Yeah, you might have 2 teeth and you're gonna lose them both at that point. Let me tell you.
Well, you're my size, so it's not so bad.
Oh, Gobby, let him pump your beaver. Just be a good friend.
Fine.
It gets lonely in the woods.
Yeah.
Take one for the team.
Where are you from? North Bay? I asked Trevor.
Yeah.
Me?
No, Beaver guy. North Bay.
Asterville.
Right?
Asterville.
Okay.
I was born in Asterville. My father was Jules. My mom was Christine. I want to get in the big spill, but you're the...
No, I got that on your
rapper thing.
Yeah, the world record Skinners.
Skinner, yeah. And I said my dad could... and my uncle Edgar and Adler could squeeze the waistcoat with one hand at 300 pounds. I can barely do this at 75. Well, I got it at 75 now, but I don't want to impress you. Yeah, but they're strong men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably couldn't do it.
You guys trap all fucking day. But Gobby, your balls, I can grade your balls all fucking day. All fucking day. I go with this with them all fucking day. It's like this. Yeah. They can be my friend. I know if you don't like me right now, because I
don't dislike anyone. But
right.
I just...
Right. But
there's a lot of people that dislike you.
Yeah, shit, yeah. There's a boatload.
How come everybody likes him, though, the big guy there beside you?
That's not true. That's not true.
There's going to be haters.
I got people asking to get you on. Get him
on.
There's
a lot of people that are fans, but there's a lot of haters.
You got a fan base, man.
I don't really give 2 shits about fans. I like the haters. They're the fun ones.
Fuck, make money off your fucking persona. Like if Mad Dog Basho made millions. And the Butcher. Mad Dog and the Butcher, man. They made fucking millions. And Mad Dog was 62, 70?
I'm pretty sure that I'm more up to date and in the loop on how Mad Dog's career went than you. So I'll just let you say these things.
Mad Dog Basho, Gilles de Fish Poisson, freaking Killer Kowalski. I watch every match. I went to matches here in North Bay, Asterville, Bonneville, Mattawa. Oh, whatever. I like my wrestling.
I like the old wrestling stuff too.
I don't like new shit.
I told you, Mad Dog's nephew is my best friend.
Like, Ian.
I definitely don't know him as good as you, but I'm a huge fan. There. I'm not going to be stupid and eat crayons.
You probably know as much about wrestling as you do arm wrestling, so...
Yeah, but I know a lot about wrestling, though, if that gives me something.
Yeah. Back in the 70s, it's different. It's different.
It was
the world's changed, man.
Yeah, Mad Dog, all those fighters there, I used to watch them in person. I didn't just fucking...
Well, Mad Dog was legit, though. That was an Olympic wrestler.
Yeah, I know he was.
Right. You would...
For Canada.
If he grabbed onto you and started fucking chewing, it's not going to be a good day for you.
Oh, I know.
All right, so what's next on the list here? Before I start tearing into the Beaver again.
Oh, boy.
Tenderizing fucking
Beaver. Hard tonight.
Yeah.
Fucking Gobby and you, man. You just fucking like... It was so easy last night with Ford and the other guy.
You don't know us.
Yeah.
You got the 2 biggest trolls.
Yeah,
call it like the way they see it. At the same time, you're gonna get heat, and then you make.
And now I'm eating a Christmas candy.
Yeah.
I mean, I warned you. I even told Trevor this is a bad idea. Why would you fucking do this?
You know why I did it? Because the bottom 8 rules. I think.
No, I'm pretty sure it's because you're stupid, but you can say what you want.
A little bit of both.
Right. I think the top 8's going down. And it's so fucking boring. You put up your sign again, yawn.
I don't know. I still want to watch the top 5. Like those, that's going to be some high level guys.
I'm going to watch
Who's the top 4 now?
But I mean,
There's another one.
Levin actually decided he was going to stay in after the talk of him pulling out.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's back up to the top 6.
Anyways, I want to tell you, Devin Larratt in his next match against Toddzilla.
Nobody cares about him.
I think Todd's too small. I don't care. I just think he's too small. Fucking Ford beat him at one point. Alan Ford beat him.
Yeah. No, seriously, keep talking.
Yeah.
Your credibility keeps going up and up and
Beaver,
up.
just talk about wrestling and Beavers. Yeah, leave the arm
Man,
wrestling.
seriously, ask questions and then shut up. It's better to be quiet and thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt.
Shut up now. I'll shut up.
Take this as an opportunity to learn. Don't try to speak about arm wrestling. Just learn, absorb, ask, and absorb.
But I watch a lot of arm wrestling, man.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of porn, but I still don't have a 10-inch dick.
Oh, I can't go that far.
Todd will be fine.
But do you think that who's going to win that fight, though, guys? Just for the fun of it. Who do you think who's...
Devin everywhere, because Todd Hutchins is just too small. Fucking Alan Ford beat him once. Like, come on.
Okay.
See, no, it's credible when I say it, though.
when you say it, I'm like...
You sound fucking stupid.
When you say it, I got to think. When he says it, I want to throw a fucking wrench at his skull. Yeah.
All right, I did it.
Oh, God, I love me sometimes. That was so much fun.
You're good. I'm like Andy.
Todd's okay. Todd will be fine.
Todd's not the smaller man in this. He's the shorter man.
Shorter, yeah.
But Todd's coming in at like 240.
Todd's a stronger man.
He's a big fucking... I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know about that, Chris. Todd, he's a very, very one-dimensional puller. Elite at that one dimension, though. Much like what I was talking about you, how you didn't need to learn to arm wrestle many different styles. In your weight class, with the hook that you have, why the fuck would you ever go anywhere else? You got a small hand and a short post. It's really not conducive for you to start trying to top roll and learn all these other moves. Like, you got an ace that's a good move in your weight class for your build. Like, there's no reason you should be going anywhere but the hook. Unless you're against a noodle bum, like you're arm wrestling a can like Beaver King here, and you're just going to take the easy win. You know, you don't want to put any tax on your elbow, so just top roll an easy win. Yeah. But rather than that, any real match, you're going to be going into your hook. Todd Hutchins, same thing. It's straight side, and it doesn't matter how good you are at anything else. He is so good at driving side, he makes that fight happen there.
Right.
You can take his hand. He doesn't give a fuck. He's driving sideways. You can half take his hand. Doesn't give a fuck. He's driving sideways. Don't take his hand. Guess where he's going to go?
Sideways.
I'm not entirely sure. Holy fuck, he's getting better.
Well,
so,
fuck it.
Todd Hutchins is just that fucking strong at that move. Now, Alan did beat him, but that was down at like 200 pounds, not at 240 pounds. You see Todd Hutchins pulling in the WAL at 195, and he doesn't win every match.
Barboza. He beat Barboza.
Not at 195, he didn't.
Oh, no,
and at 195, Alan beat him. Now, Alan had a 3-2 loss to RVJ. Whoever had the buckle lost. You know? And that was the story of the day, that whole day at the MGC. Matt Max versus Brzezinski. Whoever had the buckle lost. Brzezinski won at 3-2. You know? But so Alan is right there with Todd Hutchins and RVJ in that 195 class. Now, Todd Hutchins gets told there is no more 195 class. You're pulling with the supers. Start putting on the weight. And now, Marcio Barbosa at 240 or Ron Bath at 240, who both give Devin hell, would have crushed that 195 class easily. There's weight classes for a reason.
Exactly, yeah.
But now you see Todd jump up to that 230, 240, and he's playing with these guys, holds them center table, and lets a fucking big Ron Bath pull until he hurts himself.
He broke his arm or something.
Tore his pec or the connective tissue, the delt to the pec there. I think. I could be wrong on that, but that's.
I think it was up here. Right. He went like that. I remember seeing it.
It sounds right. I remember seeing some bruising and stuff. I might be wrong, but I'm going to say that was right anyways. Yeah, so, I mean, a 240-pound Todd Hudgens is not a 195-pound Todd Hudgens.
Okay.
There is a big, big difference.
I'm just thinking about the bone structure. How much is muscle really, like, his bone structure is only so big.
Sure.
Wondering, that's all. Because, like, if I put on, like, all right, the Beaver King puts on 40 pounds of muscle. They lock me in a cave on steroids for 6 months. I come out at 210. Will I be a good arm wrestler?
No, you're going to break your arm then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, just saying.
You'll be too strong, and your bones will not be used to having that kind of torque on it. And, I mean, against me, you'll definitely break your arm because I'll go out of my way to make sure it happens.
Good enough.
I'm trying to be the first guy to ever break 100 arms in the sport. So I kind of want to go on like an American tour and just hit amateur tournaments and novice tournaments and just see how many I can press straight across. You know, I could probably pick up 2 or 3 in a day.
Weak guys don't break their arms. The big guys do. All those small classes are too fucking
normal
big.
Arm wrestling, your opponent doesn't break your arm, you break your own arm. But if you've got, you know, a 280, 290-pound
big boys,
super heavyweight that is arguably almost a pro against a novice that's never pulled a tournament, I think I could force it.
All right.
But I think 100 arm breaks over a career would be like a record.
Yeah, but Devin, I think Devin has never broke someone's arm. Devin Laratte. I heard him say that.
Never in a match.
That's what he said. That's weird. Never did.
I don't know if it's ever happened at practice with them.
Maybe, but
see. Yeah. So that's one thing you could do is you can give away bad company friggin' arm casts. At the tournaments. There you go.
So back to Devin and Todd. Yeah. You're not going to see an arm break. It doesn't matter how much bigger and stronger. Those guys aren't breaking. No. Like they both would have broken their arms plenty of times over by this point with the way that they will fully commit in matches.
How about Gobby? Did you ever break someone's arm in your career?
Yeah, in my first year, I pulled in a Vermont state tournament and 154, and I only had one move, and I'd let someone hit into my lock, and then I'd just go sideways. And we had this guy was a little bit lighter. He was maybe 140, and I don't know if it was first tournament, but he was definitely green, and he drove right in. He was a press-only guy, and he pressed right through me. And, of course, I caught him, and then my only way is to go sideways, and I knew something was going to go wrong, so I said to the ref, pull him off his shoulder, like pull him back, or else when I go sideways, something's going to go. He said, don't worry, he's fine. And I warned him again. I even warned him to pull her. I said, back your shoulder off, because his shoulder was right on his arm, like almost illegally. And he didn't do it, and I went sideways, and it was like a ratchet. It went crack, 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 and it spiral fracture in multiple points. It was not on me. The ref, that's on the ref. It's not on me. I warned them, and although I didn't know that it was going to happen, my instincts told me this isn't going to end good. To go straight sideways across an arm that's backed by a delt is not a good recipe for.
So I seen you arm wrestling. You put a post up against a French guy with glasses, and you looked to the camera, and you seemed to be like you knew you had the match. He had you down. He sort of had your palm up a bit.
Yeah. So,
do you know when you're stronger than somebody and you take it easy on them, or do you always?
No. I do the same thing over and over and over again. The thing is, when someone hits and once they hit me into my position, or they get to their side, they're on red line, right? They're at 90% of their capacity because I can see it, I can feel, and I can look across the table and see how much force they're giving me. And when they're redlining and I'm at like 50%, like I'm holding a 50, 60 pound dumbbell, 70 pound dumbbell, I'm not even exerting, and they're giving me all that effort, I know that all I got to do is post my leg, go sideways, and they will pin. Now, if Evan does that to me on his side of the table, and I know he's just playing around at 30%, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to come through him. But when you see that, it's only because I'm the easiest guy in the world to get into a high hook on your side of the table. I'm one of the hardest guys to pin from that position. So I don't have much. Yeah, I don't have much neutral setup strength, but I have an incredibly good lock. And from that lock, I transitioned very well sideways off that lock.
It seems like you let the guy take you down.
No,
a bit.
It's not letting. If I could finish off those matches a lot faster, I would. It would save my elbow a lot of scar tissue. It's just when you don't have the hand, you don't have the arm, but you have a good back finger containment game and you have a good bicep lock, that's what ends up happening. It's boom. I set myself. They're overly committed. They give up a little bit of pronation as they throw in side pressure because you cannot defend two positions at the same time. So they give up one, I exploit the other, and I go laterally through them. That's usually what happens. And the guys that have side pressure, we end up having wars. But the guys that don't have the side pressure and the match stops, they usually end up, or don't have the bicep, they usually end up getting dragged across the table. Yeah.
Well, that was a good match anyways. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, they're all pretty much like that.
Was that like the recent? Was that the old post of you and Simon?
I don't know what he's talking about, honestly. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, that just came back up on the feeds.
It might be Simon. It's a guy with glasses that you just posted on your site.
Oh, Simon Pellick. That was a practice.
Him.
Yeah. No. That was just a practice. At a practice, we did a fun ready go. But that's I actually tried to roll him. You see me trying to pronate back pressure. It didn't work. It goes to his side. My lock comes into play. Now he doesn't rush the pin. He stays in a high posting counter top roll deal. So it keeps me kind of out of my full drag. And as he fades away, he's an excellent arm wrestler.
He's a strong boy.
As he couldn't pin me and his gas tank wheezed away, I went for the pin and he couldn't stop it. So that's just a lot of times you'll notice that it's not always the strongest arm wrestler. It's some guy. Sometimes if both guys are equal in strength, sometimes the guy that's more patient wins the match. Like Evan's very patient. Good arm wrestlers, Devin, Evan, Todd Hutchins, they're very good. They're very patient. They don't try to rush the pin. Rushing the pin versus an equal foe will have you losing the match. You have
now, the problem with that patience is you need to have
stamina,
an incredible stubbornness to you to work that kind of exertion level in practice night after night after night to condition your arm to still listen and do what you tell it when it's screaming and exhausted and full of blood and the lactic acid starting to build up and it's burning and you just want to walk off the fucking table and go grab a beer. But
you have runners and grinders in the sport. The ones that we're talking about that Evan refers to are grinders. They grind at practice, therefore they can grind at tournaments. Guys that go to practices and try to run all over the back of the pad and stay away from hard grinding matches, they're the ones that lose matches when they go to a tournament and they can't flash pin. They get stuck somewhere and they don't have the skill set to deal with it, and they're done. And
my opinion slightly differs. I think the guys that float in the middle of that, they try to do the running until they have to do the grinding. I don't want to get into that grinding war match in the first round of the bottom 8.
No one does.
This is a super match format tournament. Have you ever done a super match format tournament?
No. Yes, I did in 2006 in Connecticut, and I got dumped first round anyway, right-handed. But yeah, I've done it.
A grueling experience. Now, Devin did that, the one with where Don Underwood almost beat him because he had the easy draw of Ryan Bowen. And then he had to go through Bresnan and Lupkis and, he said he will never do another event like that again because it is so hard on your arm. And this is a guy that's built his career off just
conditioning.
If you can't pin me fast,
you're done.
I'm going to win at some point. And he's just known for his endurance, and he doesn't want to do another endurance-based event like this. Yeah. I did one in 2015, and the Nitro event.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. That was terrible. That was a round robin, wasn't it?
No, it was just a super match format.
Okay.
Yeah. Double elimination, 3 out of 5s.
That's the one Alex Levesque won?
No, I won it.
Okay, you won it.
You're talking about the under 200-pound Nitro one.
Yeah, okay, sorry, yeah.
No, Levesque didn't win it. Jake Charles won it.
Okay.
Brandon beat Levesque out.
Okay.
And Brandon was still a skinny kid.
Right.
But Levesque got into that grinder with Tamlin.
Right.
It was a good match.
Do you guys think I should have Brandon here to give me a few tips? He wants to stop in here.
I can't hurt.
No. Yeah? You don't want to learn from Brandon.
He knows that.
He's a terrible arm wrestler.
No.
He's He's not very strong. He's got terrible coaching. I would never ever try to learn from Brendan.
He's trying to give me some tips because he wants to see me do something. He said he says he just wants to help me out.
Okay, the two best
high hookers aren't good arm wrestlers, and they're not able to coach. They can't teach.
Oh no, okay, it's a no then. Okay, I'll tell him no.
Yeah.
Dave, one of the two best guys in the country. If you want to learn how to connect, which is basically how to properly funnel your strength into the match, is Evan and Brandon. Brandon is if there's a criticism, he doesn't yet have that elite strength to deal with the top 220-pound guys, but he can connect. He's one of the better connecting arm wrestlers.
It's coming, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure he's coming. Yeah,
he's not 220 pounds anymore. He could get down to that in a hurry if he needed to, but he's walking around like 240, 245.
Well, he wants to come on the show there, he said. So he's
learn everything you can from Brendan. His arm wrestling instinct is amazing. His arm wrestling IQ is amazing. His street IQ, maybe not so much, but his arm wrestling table IQ is off the charts good.
Does he
with marijuana being legalized, talk to him before he smokes and then after he smokes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, all he knows how to do is giggle and say stupid shit.
Also, King, I'll give you some more advice. If the easiest thing to gain in arm wrestling is not necessarily strength. Elite strength comes over time. But the easiest thing you can get is conditioning. If you ever hear an arm wrestler say, "Man, I don't have the stamina. I just don't have I lack the endurance." He trains very weakly and isn't good at dealing with pain and lactic acid buildup.
It's not a guy that's driven to win.
Right. Guys with great stamina. Yeah. Guys with great stamina are athletes with desire and resolve.
Well, just a love for the sport.
Yeah. Just grind and battlers.
Well, first week I started training, like the old guy that's helping me out there. I did all the exercises, the pronation curls. I did the grips behind, like all the stuff that Devin does, and then
I'll tell you right now, table time for you will be far more beneficial than any exercise or lifting will now.
Exactly.
We got 6 weeks.
Table time. My arm was so fucking sore the next day.
Yeah, just deal with it. Yeah. Suck it up, princess. This is arm wrestling, not fucking crochet.
I know, but it was sore.
Maybe you should take up ping pong or knitting or some shit.
I realize that.
Or you just shut up and stop crying about it. Start arm wrestling as much as you can for the next 4 weeks, and then 2 weeks of no table time, and stop any lifting, especially anything on your hand, for at least 12 days. I mean, you can still do some blood flow to your arms and stuff, light lifting, till you're 5 or 6 days out, and then shut it all down and make sure you're coming in well rested and prepared.
I want to win this.
Arm wrestle as much as you fucking can.
Understand that. Yeah. These guys are way better than me on the stage, but I'm trying to do my best. And hopefully I'm training hard. I'm getting table time, but I'm just telling you, when I started have table time, I had pain in my bones like I've never had. Never.
Take some ibuprofen, put some ice on it, shut the fuck up, and get back on the table the next day. You need to get back on the table.
I am. Yeah. I go on a table.
Well, I haven't tried this out myself, so I don't have any first-hand experiences. But apparently, it takes like one good shot of crack, and like you don't feel anything. You're good.
That again? I told Gobby, should I go on crack?
Yeah. I would suggest you just smoke some crack and start arm wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know. At your age, I'd be careful what I take.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm just trying to get rid of the rest of those teeth.
All right, I'm trying pink candy.
You got 6 weeks till the tournament. You got to be on that table at least 18 to 20 times in the next 6 weeks, and then, like he said, super compensate and take 2 full weeks off, and everything will bounce back and fresh, and you'll be strong, and you'll connect as well as you can.
I always overtrain. By 2 weeks away from the event, I am right now. I'm the strongest guy on my team. 2 weeks before the event comes, I will be one of the weakest guys on the team.
Yeah,
I'm just getting advice. So whatever.
Evan's right.
I overtrain. Super good rest, and then I always hit that next level, like where I perform better than I ever have previously.
Yeah. Well, I watched.
And I don't think I even need to be at the best version of me to win this.
No, you don't.
I really don't see anybody posing a legitimate threat to me.
Craig may, but if you get any resistance,
don't say it again. He's going to bend me over again. Don't get me going. I don't want to get. I don't want a 290-pound guy mad at me when I get there.
Yeah. Anyways. Okay, so we're into an hour and 15 minutes here, so I guess we should wrap it up. Thank you very much. That was an entertaining, fun show.
Well, thanks for having me.
No problem, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You probably shouldn't do it again.
Hey, no, I want you guys back on here. I'm sure everybody watching will want more of you guys on here too.
And I watch a big dude there. I hope he puts up more stuff. He gets his own.
I wouldn't mind coming back on after the bottom 8, just to tell everybody, told you so.
Yeah.
I hope I still have my teeth.
Asking the Beaver guy how he's healing up, and is his arm healing well, because that's
when's the cast come off?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like I said, I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm too stubborn and too stupid. Like I said, I'm doing it.
You'll be fine.
You got 2 arms. You don't need them both.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanks. Take care.
Have a good night.
You too.